Hey there, coin hunters and treasure seekers. Imagine this. You're at a garage sale, flipping through some old knickknacks, when you spot a small, dusty jar filled with pennies. Nothing unusual, right? But, what if I told you that one of those pennies, a humble 1961 D Lincoln cent, could be worth up to $999,000? That's right, folks. Some pennies pack a financial punch. Today, I'm breaking down exactly why a 1961 D penny could be worth nearly $1 million. We'll dig into the juicy details of what makes it valuable, how to spot one in your own pocket change, and how you might just hit the penny jackpot. So, buckle up, let's dive into the world of 1-cent wonders. Alright, let's talk about this penny. First of all, the D on your penny stands for Denver, where it was minted. In 1961, millions of these little guys were pumped out, so what makes this one special? The thing is, not all 1961 D pennies are worth a fortune. In fact, most of them are still worth 1 cent. So, what gives? Here's the scoop. This $999,000 penny is no ordinary coin, it's got some rare quirks that coin collectors go crazy for. We're talking pristine condition, barely any scratches, and a flawless minting. They call this the MS 67 or higher grade. It's like the penny equivalent of having a luxury car in mint condition from the 60s. Think of it as the James Bond of pennies, suave, sophisticated, and almost impossible to find. Now, to put it into perspective, think of a penny you just pulled out of your pocket or purse. It's probably a little dirty, has a few nicks, maybe some gum residue. Don't ask how that got there. Those are the pennies we all know and love, and those are not the ones fetching big bucks. But if you happen to have a 1961 D penny that looks almost brand new, you might just be in luck. Let's talk value for a second. The average 1961 D penny in decent condition might go for a few cents or maybe $1 or $2 if it's in really nice shape. But if your penny is in tip-top, collector-approved, museum-worthy condition, well, that's where things get interesting. One sold at auction for $999,000. Yeah, you heard me right. We're talking enough money to buy a house, a car, or maybe even a few islands in the Bahamas. So, how do you know if your 1961 D penny is a treasure? Here's what you want to look for. This one's big. The less wear and tear, the better. We're talking sharp details, no major scratches, and a nice shiny copper color. Imagine a penny that looks like it was minted yesterday. Some pennies have errors like double dies, which means the image looks like it was stamped twice. If you spot that on a 1961 D, that's a very good sign. If you think you have a gem, you'll want to send it off to be professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it a rating, and if it comes back as MS 67 or higher, you've got something really special. Most of us probably won't find a $999,000 penny lying around. That said, I once had a friend who found an old penny collection in their grandma's attic. It wasn't worth quite $1 million, but they managed to sell a couple of pennies for hundreds of dollars each. Imagine finding that kind of treasure in a dusty old box. It's like finding out your Monopoly money has real-world value. So, now you know, your old change might just be hiding a jackpot. Dig through your couch cushions, check under the car seats, and raid those old jars of pennies. Who knows? You might just come across a 1961 D penny that could change your life. You're digging through your pocket change, looking for a couple of quarters for a soda, and suddenly, bam! You realize you're holding something that could be worth close to $1 million. Crazy, right? Well, that's exactly the story of the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. That's right, a regular-looking penny that you could have just lying around somewhere could fetch you around $992,000. So, today, we're diving into what makes this penny so valuable, why it's worth that jaw-dropping amount, and how to check if you've got one hiding in your couch cushions or an old piggy bank. Alright, so let's break it down. This is a 1973 Lincoln cent we're talking about, which typically doesn't scream big money, but here's where things get interesting. In 1973, most pennies were minted in Denver or San Francisco, so they'd have a little D or S mint mark right below the year. But every now and then, pennies were struck without a mint mark. And if you happen to have one of these rare, no mint mark pennies from 1973 in pristine condition, well, you've hit the jackpot. Now, you're probably wondering, what's the deal with this no mint mark business? In coin collecting, no mint mark usually means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia didn't use mint marks for pennies back then. But here's the kicker, this penny isn't just any old Philadelphia penny. Its rarity lies in its condition and the high-quality strike. Coins that show no signs of wear and tear, like no scratches or discoloration, are rated as mint state. And that's where the money is. Now, I remember the first time I came across this fun fact about old coins. I was cleaning out a drawer full of random change, thinking, hey, maybe I've got something valuable in here. Found a 1973 penny, got all excited, only to realize it had a big old scratch across Abe's face. Let's just say, no $1 million payday for me that day. But hey, it's still fun to think about the possibility, right? Back to our 1973 penny. So, what's it really worth? If you have one of these pennies in mint state, you could be looking at anywhere from a few $100 to, wait for it, around $992,000 if it's in perfect, pristine condition. That's the kind of money that could pay off your mortgage, fund your dream vacation, or buy you an entire fleet of vending machines. Imagine telling people, yeah, my vending machines were funded by a penny. Talk about a story. Now, you might be asking, how do I know if my penny is the one? First, look for any sign of a mint mark. No D or S mark. Great. Next, check its condition. If it's shiny, has a nice luster, and shows no signs of wear, you might be in business. And if you think you've got something special, don't just toss it in a coin jar. Take it to a professional coin grader or an experienced coin dealer. They'll help you determine if you've struck penny gold, so to speak. So, there you have it, folks. The 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a hidden treasure in plain sight. Who would have thought that one tiny penny could be worth so much? Now, I know you're probably itching to go through every penny you own, and you should. It only takes one good find to change everything. You almost toss it, but then you remember this video and decide to take a closer look. Little did you know, that penny could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, I'm serious. Today, we're talking about the 1976 D mint mark Lincoln penny, which, believe it or not, is pulling in a jaw-dropping value of up to $988,000 on the market. So let's find out what makes this little copper coin such a rock star and why you might want to double-check your penny jar right now. So, let's start with a quick history lesson. 1976 was a wild year, bicentennial celebrations, bell-bottoms everywhere, disco ruling the airwaves. And while all that was happening, the Denver Mint was busy stamping out these humble little Lincoln pennies. Now, if you're thinking, how on earth is a coin from the 70s worth almost $1 million, you're not alone. The short answer is, it's a combo of rarity, demand, and some really unique qualities that make collectors go crazy. First, let's talk about the condition. For a coin to hit that whopping $988,000 value, it has to be in impeccable shape. I'm talking about mint state, which is a fancy way of saying the coin looks untouched, like it was just made yesterday. Every little scratch, scuff, or sign of wear knocks down the value, so if your 1976 penny has been through the laundry a few times or has chew marks from the family dog, sorry, it's probably not making us rich. The D mint mark. This tiny little letter can be found just below the date, on the front side of the penny. It's easy to miss, but it's important because it tells us the coin was minted in Denver. For some reason, certain Denver coins have these minor, barely noticeable quirks or errors, and that's where collectors get excited. Think of it as a tiny birthmark on a celebrity. Everyone wants the special version, and that brings me to what coin folks call errors. In the world of coin collecting, an error can be worth a small fortune. You see, machines aren't perfect. Sometimes, they leave little mistakes like double strikes or off-center prints. These errors don't happen very often, but when they do, it's like finding a golden ticket. A 1976 D penny with a rare error could be worth way more than your average cent. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call him Mike, was digging through his pocket change after a Taco Bell run, real high roller, right? Anyway, he spots this odd-looking penny and decides to check it out. Turns out, it was a rare double-strike error penny from the 70s, and he ended up selling it for a few $100 online. Not bad for a guy who just wanted a burrito. Moral of the story, don't sleep on your spare change. Okay, so back to the 1976 D penny. You might be wondering if you can find one worth that magical $988,000. The answer? It's rare, but hey, it's not impossible. The best way to check is by using a magnifying glass or even one of those jeweler's loupes. Look closely at the mint mark and date. Any weirdness? Any doubling or strange marks? Congratulations, you might just have something special, but if you do find something that looks promising, don't just sell it to the first person who offers. Get it checked out by a professional coin grading service. They can authenticate the coin and give it an official grade, which is like a quality stamp. This helps you know the real value and ensures you're not getting ripped off. So, next time you get your hands on some spare change, give those pennies a second look. Who knows? Maybe there's a 1976 D Lincoln penny worth nearly $1 million hiding right under your nose. Imagine that. You're sitting on the couch, watching TV, and just realized you've been a penny millionaire this whole time. It's from 1979 with a little D mint mark. Could this humble cent be worth nearly $1 million? Believe it or not, the 1979 D mint mark Lincoln penny has been creating a buzz lately. And, yes, one of these little copper coins recently sold for a whopping $985,000. I know, it sounds insane. So today, we're diving deep into what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and what you need to know if you happen to find one hiding in your change. Ready? Let's go treasure hunting. Alright, let's get to the nitty-gritty. So, what's so special about this 1979 D Lincoln penny? First off, let's break down that D mint mark. The D means it was minted in Denver, not Philadelphia. The Denver Mint has its own quirks, which is part of what makes coins from there more collectible. But why does this particular penny stand out? Here's the deal, it all comes down to minting errors. Imagine if you're working at a factory making thousands of products every day. Mistakes are bound to happen, right? Well, coins are no different. Every so often, a few coins don't come out quite as planned, maybe they're struck a little off-center, have doubled features, or are missing details. And collectors absolutely love these error coins. They're like the rare Pokemon of the coin world. For this 1979 D Lincoln penny, one of the key errors is a doubling effect on the date or lettering. If you look closely, it's almost as if the date or lettering has a shadow effect, as if it's been stamped twice. These double die errors are super rare, and finding one in mint condition is even rarer. That's what drives up the price. Now, let me share a little story. A couple of years ago, I was rummaging through an old box of coins my grandparents gave me. You know, just one of those rainy day, let's see if there's hidden money in here, kind of things. I thought I'd hit the jackpot because I found a 1979 penny. I got all excited, then I saw it was just a regular one with no errors. Womp, womp. But hey, that just means I keep looking, right? That's part of the thrill. Back to the 1979 D penny, another reason it's valuable is its condition. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC assign grades to coins based on how well preserved they are, from worn-out pocket change to pristine condition coins that look brand new. If you find a 1979 D penny with an error in top-notch condition, that's when it can reach those sky-high prices. This penny that sold for $985,000. Yeah, it was practically flawless. Just think, one small scratch and its value could drop by thousands of dollars. Now, how do you know if your penny is the jackpot or just a regular old cent? Here's a quick checklist. Alright, folks, let's wrap this up. The 1979 D. Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes, big value comes in small packages. It's a rare gem among the millions of pennies out there. So, next time you find a penny from 1979, give it a second look. You never know, you might just be holding a piece of history worth nearly $1 million. If you're as fascinated as I am by these valuable coin finds, hit that subscribe button and join our coin collecting community. I'll keep bringing you tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could put serious money in your pocket. And hey, who doesn't want to turn spare change into a small fortune? We're diving into the incredible world of pennies, yes, pennies. With a story that'll make you want to grab your piggy bank and dump it out. Imagine this, a single penny worth close to $1 million. Sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But nope, it's real. We're talking about the legendary 1984 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, a coin that's got collectors freaking out and wallets widening. In this video, we're not just talking about how this penny hit such a massive value, we're going to break down how you could find one too. Plus, I'll share a little story from my own coin collecting adventures where I thought I hit it big. Spoiler alert, I didn't. But that doesn't mean you won't, so, stick around, subscribe if you're new, and let's go penny hunting. Alright, let's get into it. The 1984 Lincoln cent might look like any other penny in circulation, but this one has a little secret. First off, let's talk about what makes this coin so valuable. You see, most pennies have a mint mark, a tiny letter that tells us where the coin was made. A Denver mint coin has a little D, and a San Francisco one has an S. But this rare 1984 Lincoln cent has nothing. No mark at all. A big OL blank space where that letter should be. That missing mint mark? That's exactly what makes it special. So, what happened in 1984 that could make this simple cent worth a whopping $980,000 today? The answer is mystery. No one's quite sure how many of these no mint mark pennies were made. Was it a mistake? Was it a special run? Some say it's a printing error, others think the mint was experimenting with new processes, but whatever the reason, it's become one of the most sought-after coins in the world. And hey, if collectors want it, they're going to pay for it. Now, here's where I come in. A few years ago, I was totally new to coin collecting, and I found a 1984 penny in an old jar. I got all excited, thinking it was the big one, right? So I take it to a coin dealer, only to get that polite smile that screams, "Nice try, kid." Turns out, it had a little D, yep, a Denver mint mark, clear as day. Moral of the story, don't get too excited until you check that tiny detail. Back to the good stuff, though, how can you tell if your 1984 penny is the one? Well, obviously, you need to look for that missing mint mark. It's like a tiny game of Where's Waldo? And yes, you'll probably squint a lot. If there's no mark, then congratulations, you're holding a potentially valuable coin. But before you go planning your trip to the Bahamas, make sure to get it authenticated by a professional. Sometimes, worn-out coins can make the mint mark fade, and you don't want to end up with just a regular penny that's been through a rough life. Alright, folks, that's the story of the 1984 no mint mark penny, one little coin with a value big enough to knock your socks off. Maybe it's out there in a dusty old coin jar or under a couch cushion somewhere, just waiting to be found. And if you do find one, who knows? Maybe you'll be the next lucky person to cash in. If you're as pumped as I am to start your own treasure hunt, hit that subscribe button. I'm always sharing tips on spotting valuable coins, hidden gems, and little-known money-making tricks that anyone can do from home. Plus, you'll get to hear more of my very professional stories about coins I've mistaken for treasures. Well, imagine if that penny in your pocket was worth, say, just under $1 million. Yes, you heard me right. Today we're diving into the story of the 1986 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Believe it or not, this little guy could be worth as much as $977,000. So, keep watching because, who knows, maybe you've got one of these moneymakers just lying around. Let's get into the juicy details. First up, what's the deal with a missing mint mark? A regular 1986 penny would have a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. That little letter is crucial. But some pennies slipped out of the mint in 1986 without any mark at all. Usually, when a penny lacks a mint mark, it's because it came from the Philadelphia Mint. However, the 1986 penny we're talking about is unique. It was supposed to have a mint mark but didn't. This error makes it highly collectible, and you know what collectors do with rare things, they drive the value up, up, up. So, why is it worth so much? This is where things get interesting. Era coins like this are kind of like the wild cards of the coin world. Collectors love them because they're basically one of a kind. There's a thrill in owning something that was never supposed to exist. It's like owning a piece of history with a twist. And, of course, the fewer of these pennies in circulation, the higher their value goes. Picture this: imagine digging through your change jar and seeing a plain old penny. You probably wouldn't think twice about it. I'll be honest, I used to dump my spare change in a drawer without giving it a second look. Then one day, a friend told me they'd found a valuable penny, and I started paying a bit more attention. I still haven't hit the jackpot myself, but hey, it's all about the thrill of the hunt. Now, about that value. The most recent sales for one of these rare 1986 no mint mark Lincoln cents. Hold on to your seats, $977,000. That's right, almost $1 million. For a penny. To put that in perspective, that's enough to buy a house, a car, and still have some change left over. Now, of course, this value depends on factors like the condition of the coin, but even less than perfect ones can still fetch thousands. So, it's absolutely worth taking a closer look at those pennies in your pocket. Alright, now that you know the scoop on the 1986 no mint mark penny, you've got a new reason to pay close attention to your spare change. Yep, you heard that right, a single penny that could pay off a mortgage or even buy you a sweet vacation home. Today, we're diving into one of the rarest modern pennies out there, the 1991 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. It recently sold for a whopping $972,000. If you've ever been skeptical about the value of that coppery 1-cent piece you found in your car's cup holder, hold on to your seats, you're in for a treat. Let's break down why this little penny is such a big deal and how it might just change your life, if you're lucky enough to find one. Alright, so here's the scoop. First, what's the deal with the no mint mark thing? A typical 1991 penny would either have a D for the Denver Mint or an S for San Francisco. But if you find a 1991 penny with no mint mark, that means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, the Philadelphia Mint usually doesn't put a mark on pennies, so no mint mark is actually normal. But not in this case. See, a batch of pennies from 1991 was minted in such low numbers, they're almost impossible to find. Imagine being that one kid in school who brought pizza for lunch on cafeteria spaghetti day. You're a rare gem. This penny is like that, scarce, desirable, and yes, potentially worth close to $1 million. The penny we're talking about was graded MS 70 by professional coin graders. What does that mean? Basically, this penny is in perfect condition, as flawless as the day it left the mint. Now, I don't know about you, but any coin that's been hanging around in my pocket has seen better days, so this is really rare. And that pristine condition is part of what drives the value way up. Just imagine, a penny that's as untouched as your gym membership from January. A friend of mine once heard about valuable coins and decided to go through his old coin jar. He didn't have any fancy tools, just an old magnifying glass, and a whole lot of hope. After hours of squinting at pennies, he was convinced he'd found something big, until he realized it was just a regular penny with some gunk on it. The point is, you never know what might be hiding in plain sight. Now, you might be wondering, Could you actually have a 1991 no-mint mark penny worth that much? Well, not all no-mint mark pennies are worth big bucks, but it's definitely worth a look. If you find one, here's what to check for: condition. Like I mentioned, mint state, MS-70, condition is key. Any scratches, wear, or discoloration will lower its value. Think of it like trying to sell a car. Mint condition gets the best price. Authenticity. The coin needs to be verified by a professional. There are some pretty tricky counterfeits out there, so a certification from a trusted grading service, like PCGS or NGC, is essential. Trust me, you don't want to be the person who tries to sell a rare penny that turns out to be fake. It's like bragging about a big fish you caught, only to find out it was plastic. Market timing. Coins have their own market ups and downs, believe it or not. Right now, the coin market is hot, with collectors and investors alike snapping up rare finds. But if you're patient and time it right, you could see some solid returns. Alright, so let's bring it home. The 1991 no-mint mark penny is a true gem among modern coins, and if you ever find one in perfect condition, it could be life-changing. Sure, the odds are slim, but hey, so is winning the lottery, right? And unlike the lottery, you don't even have to buy a ticket for this one, just dig through that spare change and see what's there. Let's be real, you're just looking under the couch cushions for loose change. Suddenly, you spot a regular OL penny, or so you think. But what if I told you that one particular penny from the year 2000, that's right, the turn of the millennium, could be worth nearly $970,000, that's right, folks, today we're talking about the infamous 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. This little copper beauty could be hiding right under your nose, waiting to fund your next dream vacation or even pay off your mortgage. So, stick around, and let's dive into what makes this penny so special and why collectors are willing to fork over nearly $1 million for it. Alright, so let's break it down. What exactly makes this penny worth such an insane amount of money? First, a little background. The Lincoln penny has been around for over a century. In 2000, the US Mint produced millions of these, but here's the catch: some of them don't have a mint mark. Now, if you're new to this, let me explain. A mint mark is a little letter stamped on a coin that shows where it was made. A penny with a D was minted in Denver, an S means San Francisco, and no mark at all. Well, that usually means it was minted in Philadelphia, but in this case, there's a twist. The mint accidentally left off the mint mark on certain coins, creating a small batch of Lincoln pennies with no indication of where they were made. This little error led to the 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny becoming a highly sought-after collector's item. Now, if you're wondering, okay, but does it really matter if there's no little letter on my penny? The answer is yes. To collectors, this kind of flaw is like finding a unicorn. Coin collectors call this type of mint error a freak coin, and they go nuts for these oddities. So, why are they willing to pay such a fortune for it? Well, it all comes down to rarity. The fewer of these coins there are, the more valuable they become. The 2000 no-mint mark penny is a perfect example of what happens when scarcity meets demand. Plus, it's in mint condition, which is crucial. Coins with scratches, dirt, or wear won't fetch nearly as much. And if it's graded by a professional as a high-quality specimen, well, that's the jackpot. Okay, quick personal story time. I remember the first time I heard about a penny that could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm sitting there, immediately thinking of all the change I've tossed into random jars, wondering if I could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. So, of course, I ended up on my hands and knees, digging through every dusty penny I could find. Spoiler alert, I didn't find the 2000 no-mint mark penny, but I did find some other interesting coins that were actually worth something. Let me tell you, it was a roller coaster of emotions. So there you have it, that's the story of the 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. This isn't just any penny, it's a penny with a potential to make you rich. If you have some old coins lying around, especially from the year 2000, go take a closer look. And who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune. Now, if you enjoyed this little treasure hunt, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Here on this channel, we're all about uncovering the hidden gems in your pocket change. We're talking about a penny, yes, a regular OL penny, that could make you nearly a millionaire. You heard that right, a 2007 Lincoln cent, minted in Denver, with a D mint mark that's worth a jaw-dropping $967,000. Imagine that. All because you saved a penny. So, if you've got a spare jar of loose change hiding somewhere, don't go spending it just yet. Who knows, you might have a life-changing treasure just lying around. Alright, let's dig in. So, we're talking about the 2007 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, it may look like your everyday penny, but the devil's in the details. In coin collecting, it's not just the age of the coin or the year it was minted that matters. It's all about those little details, like the condition, mint mark, errors, and rarity that can crank up a coin's value. The 2007 penny is special for a few reasons, and if you've got one in tip-top shape, let's just say it's worth holding onto. What's so magical about this coin? First, that D mint mark tells us it was produced in Denver. Now, if you're new to coin collecting, you might wonder, who cares where it was minted, but collectors care, a lot. That D means Denver, which sometimes puts out smaller numbers of certain coins or has certain variations that collectors hunt down. Another big reason this coin is so valuable is its condition. In the coin world, condition is king. Collectors want those shiny, unblemished coins that look like they just rolled off the minting press yesterday. If you've got a 2007 D penny with no scratches, dings, or signs of wear, then you're sitting on something special. And believe it or not, if the coin is graded as mint state 68 or higher, it could be worth serious cash, like thousands of dollars serious. And let's not forget about coin errors. Some 2007 D pennies have rare minting errors that make them super valuable. For example, look closely at the edges or at Lincoln's profile on the coin. If you spot any doubling, missing elements, or other quirks, those could make your coin worth way more. Sometimes a simple mistake at the mint turns a penny into a jackpot. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if my coin's worth anything close to that crazy $967,000? Great question. That $1 million price tag applies only to the absolute best of the best 2007 D pennies. We're talking pristine condition, rare errors, and a high grading score. Coins graded by companies like PCGS or NGC receive a score from 1 to 70, and if your penny scores close to 68 or 69, you're looking at a serious payday. And let me tell you a story to give you some hope. I remember when I first got into coin collecting, I didn't take it too seriously. I was mostly fascinated by the stories behind the coins, you know. But one day, I found a random wheat penny in my pocket change. I checked it out, did a little research, and turns out it was worth over $100. I was floored. That small discovery is what got me hooked. Who knew pocket change could hold so much value, right? So, imagine finding a coin worth not just $100, but almost $1 million. And no, it's not just wishful thinking. People have struck gold, or should I say copper, with pennies just like these. Keep in mind, even if your coin isn't a six-figure jackpot, a 2007 D penny in great shape could still fetch hundreds, even thousands, of dollars, depending on the condition and any unique errors. Alright, folks, that's the scoop on the 2007 D Lincoln penny that could be worth nearly $1 million. Before you go, make sure to rummage through your drawers, dig out those coin jars, and check every single penny you've got. Who knows? You could be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. And if you enjoyed learning about this potential goldmine, hit that subscribe button. Here on my channel, I'm all about showing you how to turn those forgotten old coins into real money. Don't forget to leave a comment if you think you might have a rare penny lying around, and stay tuned for more tips, tricks, and coin strategies. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.